people, Dustin's Fish Tanks, bringing it to you on a Sunday. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm here at Greenhouse 2.0, trying to make it easy on myself in the future. There's a lot of construction going on, a lot of things, and if I do it right now in the beginning, it won't be harder for me later on. So today, I'm gonna bring it to you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips on making your aquarium easier and making your plants grow faster. And obviously we're gonna be bringing you a lot of content real soon from Greenhouse 2.0, so make sure you hit that notification button and that subscribe button so you can get all the stuff as it comes out at you. My number 5 tip for having an easy planted aquarium is this. The tank size that you select is super important. Look, I'm doing about a 600-gallon pond right here. Why? Because it's all about water volume, water volume, water volume, water volume, and size of tank, okay? Too many people get out of the starting blocks wrong. They should not sell 5-gallon aquariums. They should hardly sell 10-gallon aquariums. You want a 20-gallon aquarium or minimum. The bigger the aquarium is, the more available nutrients you'll have in the water because there's more water volume. The more room you'll have for fish waste, the more room you'll have for beneficial bacteria, and the more room you'll have to screw up. If a fish dies in a 5-gallon tank, you've got like 5 seconds before it fouls the entire water. If a fish dies in a 200-gallon aquarium, you have a little bit more time. There's more nitrifying bacteria available to make that fish absorbed into the water. I've actually almost taken a dump in my 220 because it has so much plant matter versus the amount of fish load it has. Number 5 tip, large aquariums make everything better. My number 4 tip is a weird one, and it involves my dog and my daughter, and it's this. Look at this photo. This is my old dog Jasmine. This is my daughter Nola. What does this have to do with fish and plants? See my dog Jasmine? She was half human. You could tell her anything, and she basically spoke English. She could go and fetch her own food, drink, water. I could leave her alone. Look at the daughter next to her. That is my young daughter Nola. She is helpless at this point in her life. She cannot do anything. She cannot get up. She cannot feed herself. Your plants cannot feed themselves. They are entirely reliant on you, Mr. or Mrs. Fish Tank person, to bring the appropriate nutrients and everything that the plants need to them. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I was told by the guys at Seachem that plants absorb 400 to 400 times more nutrients through their roots than through their stems and leaves. You know where this is going. I do recommend that you feed your plants at their roots. I do recommend that you dirt your aquarium. After all, what would Mother Nature do? Mother Nature would feed the plants at their roots. There are exceptions, but plants absorb between 400 and 400 times more nutrients through their roots than through their stems and leaves. And they cannot go anywhere to get the food, so you might as well bring them an unlimited buffet of delicious food at their roots where they eat. Dirt your tanks or figure out how to feed your plants at their roots. And my number 3 tip for making it easy on yourself in your planted aquarium: use a ridiculous amount of plants, but not a ridiculous amount of fish. I recommend for every 1 inch of fish, and this varies by fish, you have 12 inches of plants. Why? Because plants can more readily absorb the waste through the whole nitrogen cycle. Ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. Plants eat nitrates. The more plants you have and beneficial bacteria between the poop, the beneficial bacteria, and the plants, the more fish you can have. The more plants you have, the better. You can get away with a ridiculous amount of plants and a light fish load. You cannot get away with a ridiculous amount of fish and a light plant load. Plant heavy, stock fish lightly. My number 3 tip on making it easy in your planted aquarium. And my number 2 tip for making it easy in your planted aquarium. Why am I standing in a greenhouse? Why am I so excited that the sun rises every day over that hill there yonder, if you will? It's because the sun is the most important part of our solar system. Yet all of you all somehow try to reject it or diminish its importance when it comes to having an awesome planted aquarium. Again, I'm a sun-loving creature. Here is the sun, okay? Plants get their energy from the sun. You have to have a ridiculously good light source because we're imitating the sun, okay? If you have good lighting, you can get away. If you have good nutrients at your substrate or good nutrients in your tank and you have good lighting, you will have a much easier time growing plants. Heavy plant growth means less algae. Heavy plant growth means more available nitrogen absorption from the plants, which means you're able to have more fish more easily. And a well-lit tank, by the way, looks pretty good and makes it easier for you to grow just about any different variety of species of plant that you would like to grow. Get good lights, people. Why am I building a greenhouse instead of just renting warehouse space? It's simple. The lighting is important. The more lights you have, the better plant growth. You want proof? There it is right there. Get good lights. And my number one tip is simple. Do the work up front to make sure it's easier for you to do the work on your aquarium in the long run. Look, I'm gonna tie it from a greenhouse example to your own tanks. Look, there's water there, there's water there, there's water over there. There's water everywhere. In fact, the dudes are coming to plumb my inline water heater here in about an hour. Yes, I'm putting water everywhere so that anyone at any time can do a water change on any single one of the aquariums that we have here. Flip this to you. How easy is it for you to do the work on your aquarium? Did you set up your aquarium in a spot where it's not easy for you to get to water? This is the old in-wall 75 I used to work on. It was great. It had water directly underneath the aquarium. However, the front of it was actually walled off in a little picture frame, so it made it harder for me to actually work in the front. However, the owner of this tank had the water put directly underneath the tank, making it incredible to do water changes. And in fact, I witnessed the man doing water changes himself. Where is the location of your tank? How far away from the water are you? Water, get your water everywhere. How easy is it for you to work on your tank? Do you have your supplies nearby, or do you have to run and get them? Do you have the ability to connect a hose to something, or do you have to do bucket runs? Make it easy on yourself to do the work in your aquarium. Do me a favor, folks, drop me a comment on what you do in your aquarium to make life easier. Everybody make it an awesome week. Hit the subscribe button and tank on.